Hey, this is Sebastian for the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I have the pleasure to be joined by.
Luke Bergstedt live from New York City with the Nude.
It's great to be chatting to you tonight. The Nude conjures rawness. What does the name mean to you personally and artistically? Why the Nude?
So the Nude is a metaphor for real. So instead, to describe our sound as organic and authentic and raw as possible, without like silly stage antics, without over digitally enhanced music, without makeup and eyeliner and all of that, we chose the Nude because it's as authentic as you can get in terms of as real as possible in terms of the feeling and the experience that is our sound. And we wanted to maintain that without a lot of the visual elements that seem to be adding to the digital age of music.
Yeah.
So the Nude is a metaphor for real, and our sound reflects that. We don't use anything that our impetus is as live as possible, and it works really well for us, and it's growing.
Cool. So where do you draw your influences and inspirations from?
So lyrically, which do you prefer, lyrically, or or sonically, or sound wise?
I think sound wise, because I'm gonna throw one in a minute. I'm gonna throw something in a minute. So yeah, sound wise.
So sound wise, I wanted to take 20% punk, 40% heavy metal, and 40% of the blues to make what I call modern rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing done towards the former age in revivalism, but more so what does 2023, 4, 5, 7 sound like moving forward. So of course we take influence. I liked, out of Britain, I loved my new wave of British heavy metal. We also pull a lot of contemporary things, so like you have your Mastodon, and the more aggressive sounds like Behemoth and things like that, and the more aggressive genres of music.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love the color of the blues.
Right.
So in certain songs of ours, you get moments of jazz, moments of blues, moments of color in a sea of madness. But the core principles of the songs are for fun.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see us live, I sure, be on your phone, take photographs, all that, but I want you leaving the room having had fun, as opposed to four dudes trying to out evil one another with the most evil shit in the world. Because I love my evil self, but I can't do evil well. So instead, we moved with fun.
Yeah.
And so we pulled lots of color with moments of very disdainful aggression.
Cool. Well, first, as soon as I started listening to It Gets Easier, right? I was thinking The Doors, Lou Reed. Are you a fan? Yeah, are you fans of theirs?
Oh, cheers! I haven't gotten that one before.
Yeah, I was thinking that, man. That's the first thing that came into my head. Well, I'm old, so fucking yeah.
Oh, that's a compliment, man. I had the privilege of seeing him in 2009 in a little weird hole in the wall called the Continental.
Yeah.
Ages ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the sort of feeling I was getting. So, are you a fan of the Doors then, and a little bit of Lou Reed?
Absolutely. Younger versions of me studied Morrison pretty intensely.
Yeah.
I was stunned when when you're young and you're putting things together, you don't understand what's going on, and then when you learn that their color, the way that they built that band, the relationship between the piano and the keys versus the bass, absolutely, yes.
Brilliant. So, what about the day you then stand and be recognised? That drops on the 8th. Are you feeling excited or nervous now?
Oh man, it's. I mean, this is my childhood dream, man. Like, we were put in a position where, in the pandemic, musicians worldwide were asked, "Listen, is this you, or is it not?" And so this record started by me writing alone with no one, playing to no one. And now 5 years later, we're playing. We get signed, and it starts to move. Not on our following, not on the numbers that we have to play algorithmically, but the core elements of the record, which to me is like, that's the jam for me.
Totally, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I really love Medicating. I love the whole album, and I will get it reviewed.
Thank you.
The feedback kills on that bit, Medicating. But which is your favourite track on the album today, and why? They'll all be your babies, of course.
I'll go with two. So, Medicating is about the process of when you are looking for something external to soothe your internal wounds, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mixing with the dread. So that sound at the very end with the reverb is the opening of a can of beer.
Right.
But Medicating, some of us had periods of going through pressing the wrong buttons way too many times to fix things externally.
Yeah.
And Medicating is absolutely about that.
Cool.
And my second favorite is Victim's Plight. That could I built the record in the shape of a V.
Right.
So the ascent, the very rapid descent, and Victim's Plight is just after rock bottom.
Right.
So the core about the record is about how you can fix yourself without necessarily substances or religion. And that's what that is about. And so the chorus, I don't know how, I don't know why, but I like it, is particular to me because I had to use that to get myself out of some pits.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why I put it on the record, yeah.
I can understand that, man, totally. Yeah. Can you tell us then a little bit about Damn? That's spine-tinglingly, I can't speak, spine-tinglingly amazing.
Sorry?
I knew I was going to have to edit this. Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about Damn? That is amazing. It's spine-tingling.
Oh, Damned. So, yeah, Damned. So if Victim's Plight is the pit,
yeah,
is the ascent from that pit. Damned is... Yeah, Damned is a special one for me. We recorded that. The piano take is the 9th take. It was done at Town Hall in Times Square.
Right.
Which is huge soft spot for me. My man Nick arranged it in this beautiful. It's a theater.
Okay.
And so that's the only vocal take that we did.
Wow.
That is one take. The piano was done separately because I can't play and sing piano very well at the moment. But Damned is when you cannot fall lower.
Right.
And so when I said that to my mother was like, "Luke, that is so dark in a very fun record." But Damned is about that period of self-analysis where you cannot continue the way that you are existing. And my man Henry came in when we auditioned Henry for it. Henry is the color of the band, right?
Right.
Henry has a funk background. He's played with George Clinton, some excellent people out of Parliament Funkadelic. He has had the privilege of playing Maggot Brain live for them.
Right.
Which is And so Damned is with that color through it. Damned is the tragedy of the record.
Cool, man. That's amazing. Yeah. So I bring rock and roll. What does that promise in today's musical landscape?
Exactly what I think modern rock and roll should be. So, songs that are written for the future, not in retrograde. Modern rock and roll in the sense of that same freedom that we all... I fell in love with that freedom listening to Maiden, the Priests, those proper, colorful, aggressive bands.
Yeah.
Without... traditional, seeming things that are happening in the current scheme of the music world. Do your thing with theatrical elements. That's all you. I'm not one for makeup and stage clothes. It's bare bones for blue collar men ripping songs.
Cool.
And that the goal is to have the audience attend and then leave feeling better than how they arrived. And for me, going to concerts since I was a boy, that to me is what rock and roll is about.
Totally, mate. Totally. Yeah, I can agree more. So what are you doing then for release day? You've got anything special planned? You're going to do a live stream? Are you doing social media?
So we're going to do some press releases. We're playing on the 8th here in the city.
Right.
We're playing at Mercury Lounge. on the 8th of August, and then from there we're just going to continue with the campaigns that we're doing, and continue to do the content because we're consistently posting, and growing our brand, but we don't play the silly social media games. So whilst algorithmically I'm happy to meet the standards of posting consistently, we don't talk to the camera to give updates. We're not gonna do some trendy thing that was, oh, we're musicians, of course silly little things like that. That's just not us. And so social media wise, we'll continue to keep posting and celebrate what the records are bringing, what the labels bringing in for us, and then continue to populate what we've been doing with live things and what friends and audience members and fans capture of us live. And then a good proper party afterwards.
Cool.
Because we are those kinds of people as well.
Good to know, mate. Good to know. So, what's the metal scene like in New York these days? Then, is it cool? Is it good?
Oh man, I moved here for this.
Did you from South Africa? Yeah.
No, I went to high school in New Jersey, and I was previously also semi-raised in France,
Right.
so a bit of from nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
But you get some of the finest hidden gems through this city, both those creating locally and then those who come through. Now, New York City can be very difficult to play live, unless you have a legitimate setup with labels and things like that, because New York can be very difficult to book. It can be very difficult to profit from it because it's an expensive city. We have some of the finest underground caves for excellent metal.
Right.
In the history of the world. I'm sure you're familiar with what was St. Vitus.
Of course, yes, yes.
Okay, fun fact. Our producer and original bassist,
Okay,
Nick Cagiao, ran Vitus's sound for 7 years.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
And to have that motherfucker on the record, because Vitus was my CBGBs. That was my... I'm not. I don't have anything relative to your location that I would know, but the kind of venue where, I mean, there's hanging dead roses on the ceiling. This is where Iommi signed his book.
Yeah, a proper venue, proper.
Exactly, and so you
Nicky carpets.
Yes, exactly, right.
Yeah. Can't beat it.
Oh no, Nicky Sneakers, the photographer as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So New York City has these venues where you could find bands that were just blossoming, because New York had the underground of metal on the whole East Coast.
Of course.
It still does, and you get the privilege of seeing, you walk into the room and the room still smells like stale beer and affordable drink tickets and affordable concert tickets to see these titans 5-10 meters away from you doing the thing in a small venue. I love small venues. Yeah. Because the fan is right there. I love that. It's the dream for me here. I would have built it in this town as opposed to crawling out of the suburbs trying to make ends meet with dudes who are not really sure. There are musicians in New York who, by blood, law, God, whoever, that is what they do. Yeah. And I live for those people. Those are my kind of people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, is it hard then to get your recognition over there, or is it getting there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's so many bands. Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable. It's ridiculous.
There's a lot.
Every day I get albums sent through, and I don't get to check them all. But for some reason, I don't know. I think it was the name, and then you look like someone I used to know, and I'm like, I've got to listen to this, and that's what sort of because I'm a small site. I don't get around to reviewing very often. I do interviews more than anything these days, but that's what sort of all right then. So, what's been the wildest moment then you've had as a musician to date?
Oof. So we played Irving Plaza. And that was our largest to date at the time, just before the pandemic.
Right.
And that was, we all have shows that you played where you went to bed with the biggest grin on your face.
Yeah.
Saluting the younger versions of yourself doing, we fucking did that.
Yeah.
And because this is self-perpetuated. I don't have industry ties like that. I don't have like extremely close relationship with labels at the time. This is built on blue-collar sweat and tears.
Yeah.
And so there's been other moments where, so I had the privilege of meeting and then working for Melissa Cross.
Yeah.
So she's responsible for the Zen of Screaming contemporary distortion in the healthy version that it is.
Yeah.
I had the privilege of learning from her and working for her. And to meet the woman who taught me how to do some of the things that I needed to learn. Because originally my background was in opera, but that wasn't enough. And so I met and befriended one of the titans of teaching voice work.
Right.
Another one would be when I briefly met Bruce Dickinson. There are moments in a musician's career where you have to stop practicing to certain people. And I loved that motherfucker, but Jesus, I had to stop practicing it because I was starting to sound like Bruce instead of finding Luke.
Right.
So those are a few to name. Playing Vitus with the Nude was a big deal before it closed. Because that was like, I had seen Cryptopsy there.
Yeah.
As well as playing my own work. I saw like Nails early in their career. Like, to having sweat on the same stage as some of the men whose hands you would love to shake but will never again. Those off the top of my head, those are those. Okay, I'll keep it towards what helped me with the Nude.
Right.
Definitely one is In the Mouth of Our Young by Bullets and Octane.
Oh God, yeah, I know that for years.
It is a perfect record.
Yeah.
It is second zero to however long it is. Perfect.
Yeah.
Blackwater Park by Opeth.
Okay.
Played a big role, right? And then the live album by the Ramones, We Out of Here. It's 94, something like that. We're 'RE out of here. It's where I learned that the Ramones played everything way faster.
Yeah, totally.
I love it. Off the top of my head, those are definitely three. I will also go with Rock for Light, the live record by Bad Brains.
Okay.
That one was big for me, because it's hell in a room, and it's down the street from, off the top of my head, those are four, yeah.
That's great. So then, if you could jam with three musicians, dead or alive, who would make the list?
Oh, let's do this. Okay. Good questions, man. I love these things. Live, just to jam, right?
Yeah, just to jam.
To start, I love jazz.
Right.
So if I could sing, just as to play with, if I could sing with Oscar Peterson on piano.
Okay.
Start. If I could, Randy Rhoads was a living gift as well.
He was. Yeah.
That was a living gift, really. And then in addition to that, Izzy Stradlin. Izzy Stradlin would be really interesting just to write with. Because that man, I was a huge Guns N' Roses fan.
Same. Yeah, I was. Yeah.
And Izzy was some of my favorite. Good writers like that. Oh, so teach me, damn it.
Exactly. So, if you're going out on tour in the morning, which three essential items would you take with you?
If I'm going tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely one of my leathers. I collect leather jackets.
Right.
I collect and I make them. Yeah, I love sewing.
Right.
Definitely that. These are things that are outside of non-essentials, right?
Yeah.
Definitely my vaporizer to wind down in the evening for tour, because that sleep is vital.
Yeah.
And then and what my my vocal mist respirator thing for sure that we're sharp. That's off. Yeah, definitely those three.
All right. So in the morning, you get your passport. You got 3 countries to take your band to tour. Which 3 countries would be on your bucket list? I hate that term. 3 countries would you love to tour? I don't hate the word bucket list. I don't know.
No,
Anyway.
In Europe or in general?
Anywhere. Yeah.
I'm going to South Africa. Top of the list.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll cry like a fucking boy.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play Ireland.
Right.
I clicked. I would include the United Kingdom as a whole, frankly. Definitely Ireland, and I absolutely would love to see Japan.
Right.
Because I have a good. That's for business. I have a feeling the Japanese will enjoy this sound. Yes, and I've always wanted to see that part of the world properly. Yeah.
Amazing. All right, so this is your final 6 now. So you've got a 24-hour road trip. Which musician is riding in your car with you?
Live or dead?
Alive or dead, yeah.
I would sit and pick Beethoven's brain for a decade.
Yeah.
I would do the same with Frank Sinatra.
Right.
I would. I mean, Frank. I study different singers by different months at this point. I'm constantly studying. And so for composition, to understand sheer stubborn will, because when you lose hearing and you insist on making music still,
Yeah.
that's my kind of guy. Frank Sinatra also to learn with, absolutely. And I think Lemmy would have been a wonderful time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally, mate. Totally. All right, so Ozzy Osbourne's recently sadly passed. Which song by him would you love to cover from his solo career?
My question to you is first, when will this be released?
I'm going to do it on Tuesday, yeah?
Okay. I'll do this then. We don't cover songs often, ever. We are doing our first to commemorate the man's passing.
Right.
And I had the privilege of seeing it live at This Is the End tour when they came to Madison Square Garden in 2013. Children of the Grave.
Really? All right, that's cool.
Children of the fucking Grave.
Love that song. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's my Sabbath jam. Straight.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. But what about from Ozzy's solo career then?
From his solo career?
I love Children of the Grave though, yeah.
I love Children of the Grave. From his solo career, I'm forgetting the name. It's a deep track too. That's gonna bother me. That's gonna bother me badly. I mean, I liked his. I preferred Sabbath, but from his career, Changes is big. I know Youngblood covered that as well.
That's been ruined, that song for me, mate. Everyone's just
all respect to Youngblood, Dominic, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
We'll leave that alone. That one's a big one. I mean, and I like, I enjoyed the first early days of, Bark at the Moon, Your Crazy Trains, those traditional ones. But I definitely enjoyed Sabbath before Ozzy went off and did his own thing. I also have a huge soft spot for Heaven and Hell. And
Ronnie James. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. If there is a heaven and a hell, they're up there now.
Oh my God, absolutely. I would have hoped at this point they're shaking hands too, because apparently those two didn't get along.
Apparently not, yeah.
But I mean, again, two different sides of a very similar coin.
Totally.
And I see them both equally. For me, they're still Black Sabbath in both. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, and so if your this is a made-up song. If your personality were a song, what would it be? What would the title be?
Oh my! The brightest one in the room.
There we go. That's a great one.
Not from the sense of intellect, but motherfucker, I love color, and I use contrast to make things pop nicer. So my whole, just for example, the panels in my house, things shine brighter with a darker contrast.
Cool.
And the brightest one in the room, I would take that personally, yeah.
Right, you sort of answered this question already, but would you prefer playing a festival or a small, intimate gig?
Oh no, if in the way that I've analyzed the modern touring industry, I would rather charge a bit of a decent price for a smaller room than pay through the nose to be a fly on the wall and in a giant theater.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially considering that I've heard so many bad reviews about arenas and festivals in terms of the sound quality.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole MO is, how does it sound?
Yeah, yeah.
How does it feel? Can you feel the singer?
Uh-huh.
Does the bass rumble your innards properly?
Mm-hmm.
Is the beer affordable?
Exactly, mate. Yeah, that used to be so important.
That's a big. It's rock and roll. It's not.
Yeah, I know, man.
What are the prices for a pint up in?
It's last time I went to the arena in Newcastle, it was like £6. That's about 4 years ago, so it's going to be probably nearly £10 now. It's crazy, and it's piss. You're drinking piss.
You're drinking piss.
Yeah,
piss.
It's rubbish. It's watered down rubbish. So yeah. All right. So the next one is: do you prefer Kermit the Frog or the Orange Man?
In terms of yeah, absolutely Kermit the Frog. The Orange Man needs to go. This is ridiculous, man.
Right, and the final one is: you prefer beer or pizza?
I prefer pizza.
Yeah, I'm the same now. Yeah.
If you ever have the privilege of coming to New York City, you let me know, and I will make sure you find out. But we have some of the finest food in the world here. We do.
Really? Right. Okay. Yeah, I was in Italy not so long ago, and the pizza there is just to die for.
It absolutely is. New York City's pizza is different.
Right.
The sentence I've heard from my chef friends is that Italians invented the pizza, but New Yorkers perfected it. Now, I understand there's a bunch of people that's going to piss off.
Yeah.
And that is I understand. But of the two, especially considering the state of American beer, I'm definitely choosing pizza for that, yeah. If you come, I will make sure you are shown proper New York City slice.
Right, man. I've had Rolling Rock beer. That's not very good. That's American, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Not good. That's not good. Like, I don't tend to drink so much these days, but yeah, I'm a big pizza fan. But I'm part Italian, hence my surname. So, do you believe in pineapple on pizza?
No!
Really?
I do not!
I love pineapple on pizza.
New Yorkers get very pretentious about it too. I mean, New Yorkers will fight with Chicagoans about pizza. Yes. Because the secret is our water runs through a very specific mountain range that has excellent properties for bread and yeast.
Right.
So our base of pizza, that's why New York bagels are a thing.
Right.
It's why the New York Italian sandwich is famous first because of the bread that it goes on. So New Yorkers will fight over the long-standing relationship of pizza being what it is. Pineapple pizza is a no for me. Especially because the Italians here perfected the Italian sauce, right?
They go mad, yeah, I know.
Did your grandmother bring a little bit of sugar in your sauce as a child?
Yeah.
That for me, I was told by the surname is Lamarca.
Right.
And his mother, I can remember, I was like 19. She showed the family sauce.
Yeah.
All done, nothing written down, only from memory. And I can remember Mrs. Lamarca saying, listen, you need a little bit of brown sugar in the beginning with the garlic. So I'm not sure if that resonates.
It does, yeah. Can you then tell us why we should check out your album, Stand and Be Recognized, and what can we expect from it? I already know. But...
you can expect... Okay, the reason why is because there's there's a message in the record that basically, in a sentence, it tells you that you are your own god.
Mm-hmm.
You have the ability to sort yourself out.
Yeah.
You can fix yourself, especially if you're willing to feel.
Mm-hmm.
And that record is the very basis of our live show. So what we rehearse, how we rehearse for live, because live is all. Live music for me is all.
Absolutely.
So to check us out, you will know that our standard of professionalism in our craft, our dedication to our craft, is found in our secret sauce. And our secret sauce is just rehearsal. That's all it is. Learn your work, discipline yourself, and pull the best shit out of you.
Cool.
And apparently that's rare today with digital technology. There's no auto-tune, there is no editing live, there's no editing on that record like that.
Cool.
It is as pure as we could make this, as four broke blue-collar motherfuckers just having to do this.
Amazing. All right, and so thank you so much for your time today. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
I'm so excited to be here. It is the greatest privilege to not only be validated, but also have people on the planet go, no. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And for me to play a role in preserving an art form which literally saved my life. I mean, Dead or in Jail was on the cards at certain points, and that's why the record was born. To be in these kinds of shoes now is the greatest privilege there is.